Hello, fresh from a restart because I clicked the wrong button. Because it's been ages since I've had to do anything remotely close to this on any show, but here we are. This is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin, and we didn't duck, and that is exactly what happened. We got quacked. So, anyway, we're here for a kind of a unique night tonight because we're going to talk about the game that we're playing for a while before we actually play the game, if we get to play the game tonight at all. We will see. But first, let's talk about the people, because the people remain the same. Like the song in that famous song, the song remains the same. So the same people. We're just going to kind of introduce them tonight because we're going to start with Bison underscore Stonefist, who is in every show, every night ever on our channel.
That's not true anymore. I'm just a regular 9 to 5er these days.
Just a mere 5 days a week.
A mere 4 nights a week.
4 nights a week. Okay.
Yeah, no, Sarah and I think Fox make me look bad now. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I'm here Sundays. I run the Tuesday night game. I'm here Thursdays, and I'm obviously here tonight on Saturday.
Yes. Ooh, and we got a hype train going already. We didn't do anything yet.
Jeez.
All you have to
Good
do
Lord.
is fuck up to get a hype train started. I should be a millionaire. But let's move on. If you go to our Discord, which is up there, I segued. You can you'll find them under the name Mudkip. Welcome here. Are you in any of the games that any? Oh, you are. You're in a game that he didn't get to mention. So tell us about
I did
that.
mention it.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so the game that was not mentioned is our
Oh,
Thursday
yeah.
night game, also known as Deviant Paradox, using the City of Mist system. So what's funny is it's
Oh,
not
you're in that one,
we're
but
all-
aren't you in the Wednesday one and he's not?
no.
Oh, you're
I'm
neither
not
one.
on Wednesday.
Okay. See, like I said, I haven't done fuck all.
That's Sarah.
There you
That's
go.
Sarah.
There you go.
Hardcore.
So you're both in
Anyway.
Thursday's game. Yeah. All right. There we go. Ta-da.
So what's funny as much as we're talking about we go live here a lot. We don't do very much Dungeons and Dragons, which is a very interesting thing.
Yes.
Something that many of us are, I don't also want to say proud of per se, but it's definitely been an interesting development that's happened.
Yep.
You
Because there's
can
many
do
TTRPGs.
RPGs. You can do RPG without supporting Hasbro if you want.
6.5 games a week, and I keep not explaining a half a game. We have a game that's technically bi-weekly, plays every second week. So 6.5 games a week, and none of it's D&D. So, and
Yeesh.
that niche is there, and Pathfinder, all those other games, that's all there. Play whatever it is you want. I think a lot of this has to do with me being sick of playing D&D for 40 years, so I just play everything else, and it kind of spread off. But anyway, play all the systems because you learn new mechanics and you find new ways to play. Speaking of mechanics, we got one person left, normally playing Raven for us. Karis, hello and welcome. Is your mind being crafted recently?
Not really.
No?
I haven't even been on the world in all this week. So it's been a real life. It's
Yes.
belongs
been
to
weird.
the creeper. It belongs
And
to the
oddly
creepers
enough,
Yeah.
I mostly play D&D. So
So yes, yep.
it's just
So
not
there you
on
go.
stream.
Circle. All the circle of RPG life. Play D&D, go play something else, come back to D&D. It all circles around in the end. Anyway.
My Minecraft world belongs to the creepers. All your worlds belong to us. Bang.
But speaking of games and rules and systems, and I see people talking about Daggerheart and other systems in there. Before we play tonight, we're going to have this game is 4 GMs, no plan. That was working, and it's working really well, but we've reached the point where we need to stop and have two, I think we figured out, conversations before we can move forward.
Process check.
Yes, exactly. Thank you for staying with our company for 3 months. You've made it through your probationary period. Here's your first review. One of those, right?
Basically, this is session 7, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
So, with that, the first one that we're going to talk about, we agreed before we started, was our roles to storytelling ratio. I think is a safe. Is that a fair way to put that? The number of roles we're doing versus the amount of input that we're doing.
Well, and the storytelling, and I mean, two things about that. We ran into that same issue in Ironsworn 5 years ago too.
Yep.
I remember having a conversation with Austin about it. But So what I wrote for it's actually a flashback rather than a recap because it only covers one scene, but it's one scene from last week, and it's kind of okay, I did a whole bunch of roles, but I didn't tell the story.
Yep.
And so it's kind of this is fun, but it's we're not playing a board game here.
Yep.
We want to be telling a story. And so finding the balance in there, because the mechanics of this game are very interesting. And that's one of the things why we're playing it, is because we want to explore the mechanics. But we're for storytellers. So it's kind of, we know the rules well enough now that it's time to back off a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
And the other conversation.
Hang on.
Just kind of to piggyback off of the
yes.
the lowering like the number of rolls, that will also mechanically shift our available momentum. So did we
Yes.
want to try to offset that?
That is
No.
a big thing, because that's what I wanted to point out too. The less times we roll means the less strong hits we get, which means the less momentum we build, which means the less control we have over our own destiny. Because momentum is the only way in this game that a player can change a roll.
And the less
So-
progress we make on our quests.
You have to make
Not
a roll to do that, but
necessarily.
yeah.
Well,
But
like vows and stuff.
but
But the more that we decide things by storytelling.
Yep. But
And
it
we have
does,
we have too much momentum. This gets overpowered fast. So
Is
Yeah,
that-
same. It depends on what you're rolling for. So if you're rolling
Mhm.
more frequently for different decisions, like okay, now I want to save it for like a larger roll, versus we kind of back off on the I don't want to say the more mundane rolls.
Yep.
But it's kind of rolling for rolling's sake, kind of backing off from that a bit more.
And I mean, it's also kind of building on
Yeah.
an idea that Mudkip had a couple of sessions ago, where when we make a roll, it's like before we make the roll, envision what is failure narratively. What does failure mean in this? And maybe we need to do more narration around what does success mean. How do we do more of the storytelling with our roles? And I think that that idea that Mudkip had was is something that we can leverage.
Okay. Just to kick back again to the momentum in particular, the secure an advantage and gather information moves are both specifically designed to give you momentum.
Mhm.
But you do have to roll to see how much of it you get. So that means that almost anytime you're going to do anything, it's a double roll, right? Because you'd be crazy if you've got time. You'd be crazy not to prepare, right? So you're going to do either secure an advantage or gather information before you do every other roll. So every roll turns into 2 rolls,
Mhm.
which is 2 chances to build up your momentum. But that Yeah, I know what I wanted to clear up after I made that point. The difference between oracle rolls and moves. Do we want to do less? I can see doing less move rolls, but less oracle rolls means sort of less prompts. Because I think that's how they mostly work out in the game, is they show up as sort of like a writing prompt in a story, right?
Yeah.
I like the Oracle stuff.
Okay.
Personally. I'm like, out of everybody, I think I'm probably the crunchiest. And I like rolling to fill in blanks.
Yeah.
Right. What I like about the oracles is it kind of lets me have an idea, but gives like an opportunity for a wrench to get thrown at it.
Yep.
And kind
Yeah.
of force me to change course, or even kind of figure, okay, so the oracle wants this person to be like mad as hell, but it makes more sense that they're like trying to still be helpful. So it kind of leads to, okay, why are they?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I like the oracle rolls, and they there's the funny part is they would be the ones that would be the easiest ones to cut, and because they
Mhm.
don't have they don't generate momentum. So there's no reason not to cut them, and yet they're the ones that are more of the creative storytelling prompts. So kind of, but so yeah, I think it comes down to less rolling. But how do we decide then when to roll and when not to? Like I'm not. Or do we do, because you mentioned envision failure, envision success. We kind of do that now afterwards, right? You decide what level of success you got and then say, what does that look like?
Yeah.
So, I mean, kind of a middle ground would be like envision how do you try to repair? So kind of like, okay, what action are you really trying to take other than, okay, I'm going to repair it? It's like, okay, you're going to go to the panel, you know, get the wrench that you know you've had, that kind of thing. Granted, it's not going to be every time you say go grab your wrench. But it's like, okay,
Yeah.
what's different this time? So kind of narratively describing the advantage or information gathering, and then kind of pulling those two roles together.
Okay. So securing that you basically say I'm going to secure an advantage or gather information and then just take a momentum and go, then go on to your main role, or like an
Oh,
auto momentum, or do we
so I
just
wasn't necessarily like skipping, but it's more like using the securing and gathering information is more the how are you going about the thing that might either succeed or fail.
Can you give an example from, one of the scenes or roles that we've had in the past?
Yeah, that would be really helpful because I'm kind of lost, if I'm being honest.
so
So let's take a
Yep, we're good.
let's take a look at like last session. So last session, and we had two things going on at once for a while, which I really liked because that
Yeah.
gave more of a sense of immediacy
Yeah.
and it happening in parallel.
yes,
We
Yeah.
had
always
Scooter
split the
out with
party.
an engineer retrieving retrieving a part off of the derelict.
Yeah.
And we had Raven fixing the Nomad ship,
Yeah.
which is the ship that they were using to get them in place to do this.
Yeah.
So the things that I was doing, the failures that I had affected what was happening to them.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm. So I think for me, kind of an example that shows up is more like James being alone, trying to basically like discover what's going on with these crew members. So I was more realistic, kind of rolling to find out good, bad, like what degree of information, not really thinking how is James going about trying to learn more about this virus or whatever
Okay.
it might be. So I kind of defaulted to mechanics that I'm trying to figure out, is there a way to kind of encourage not necessarily not rolling on mechanics like that, but it's okay. Could I have gone to an oracle instead of just rolling a like a move to try to generate like an oracle would?
Or just the oracle, what is the problem with them? And then do a narration for what we do to find, how are we finding that out, and the realization, and getting kind of even maybe some role play in there between Dr. James and and one or two of the engineers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just making notes here. So what would it be an option to do the same number of rules we're doing now, but spread them out by putting more role play in between them?
That was
Possibly.
more what I
Because
was thinking.
most of our scenes now are like somebody goes, here's the situation, what are you going to do? And then there's you say usually in character, I'm going to do this and this, right? I'm going to gather the engineers, get them into the bay, and close the damn door this time, right? To use Bill as an example, right? uh, and at that point, and then at that point we've been then going, okay, that's what you're going to do, roll. If instead of that you role played out taking those people there, somebody makes it difficult for you but they don't want to go, or something like that. So sort of delay the roll itself, and then once the roll happens, then just use it as the direction to finish the story.
And that gets into one of the other topics that I wanted to discuss, which is,
Hmm?
the role play relationships.
Yeah.
Because one of the things is we're marking off progress on our quest. We're not marking off much progress on our relationships. There's a lot more we could do on the interplay between characters and the interplay with NPCs.
Yep.
And I mean, half the role play stuff there is aimed at interacting with NPCs. We've just used some of it on relationships between the
Yeah.
characters. Yeah,
Well, I don't think other than what would it be? I think under your legacies, under bonds,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I think that's about it. That would be where at the end of every session we need to, I guess, ask ourselves a little more directly: did I build? And I know we did it last time because I very clearly remember saying Bill didn't build any relationships with anybody today. Well, no, that's not true because he built one with the
For
when
10.
she told him off. Not for Dan himself, but the lady that went in there and
Oh,
got,
Thea.
yeah,
Thea?
when she told him he wasn't very good with
Not
people, and
Thea.
yeah,
Talia?
Talia.
Talia, yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. So yeah, this game is, as we've all mentioned, is slow on building legacies. It takes forever to get to a point where you feel like you're comfortable rolling them. We've been with seven adventures. I haven't got a single. I'm only into my second box on one of them, right? And that's been his discoveries, which has been his focus all along. So it is slow.
But I mean, yeah, this is session 7. So we've done 6 sessions.
Yeah.
A, the sessions are short. B, the sessions are even shorter for us because this is so cognitively demanding. We tend to wear out, and so
Yeah.
they tend to be closer to hour and a half sessions
Oh
than
yeah,
2 hour
especially with
sessions.
the intros and outros. Yeah. Yeah, it's
So
about 90 minutes of
it's
gameplay.
so slow is okay.
Yeah.
If we've got a slow burn, if we're going somewhere, the thing is, if we're just doing slow stuff with mechanics, it's gonna feel very slow. If we get the richness of the storytelling in there and we're actually feeling it, we're actually in there and feeling what's going on, it's going to be, more satisfying for the viewers. Just, it's cognitively expensive for us, but we need to get more value for the viewers out of it.
Okay. Uh,
This may be a bit early, but that does kind of jump us kind of to the next. I don't want to say that's like major point of the question that we wanted to talk about tonight
Hmm.
before we really got started. But
before we move on, I just want to check because
Yep.
Bison, you haven't said a whole lot on this topic. What are your thoughts on rules versus roleplay, or where's your balance point at?
Honestly, it's hard for me because that's how I get the feel of systems is by rolling.
Yep.
And as someone who is both running the game and playing the game, I kind of need a little bit of direction.
Yeah.
And so like the roles help me figure out what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it. I do think very mechanically. I am Captain Crunchy after all. That's both a joke and serious.
Yeah.
So like it's weird because it's not how I write Cyberpunk. I
Mhm.
barely think about the mechanics when I write my game.
Yeah.
But because I'm running this game as I'm playing it, as I'm writing it, I kind of need those mechanics
Yeah.
a little bit. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Sure. Yeah.
Like
I
I'd
find. Yeah.
be like my kind of thought is one way we could do it is we have a scene set up, which again sounds really mechanical. Um, have a scene set up, figure out what we're gonna do, all roll for it, and then go from there. So we figured out what our outcomes are going to be, and then we just sort of work towards them, which kind of is antithetical to what we've been talking about to this point. So I
Well,
don't really
no, it
know.
isn't. It isn't antithetical to it because the thing is, roll when we feel like we need a roll, and don't roll when we don't feel like we need a roll. I don't think we
Mhm.
need to set it prescriptively up front. And it's that way. So as Bison's going through, okay, what's going on here? And that makes a lot of sense because I mean, you're trying to write, you're trying to play, you're trying to do all these things at once. Sometimes it's a lot easier just let a roll tell me, and it's like because it's easier to react to the roll than it is to come up with something fresh.
And that also might be just my flavor of ADHD.
But
I need
but
that I need that
but it
direction
is
to
what
get
it
me
is.
going. I
Yeah.
need the kick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so probably you will roll a lot more often than I roll. And that's fine. That's okay.
I find myself in a really interesting spot with this game because it's the only game I can think of that I'm in support of more mechanics. I like
Yeah,
lots
that's
of
not
rules.
your usual
It's not my
forte.
shtick, and I'm the first to accept that and state it.
You're
But for
notorious for throwing out the rule books.
well, yeah, but for this game, I think I figured out. I've been treating it like it's a solo play for 4 of us, and in a solo play, everything is a roll, right? Every single thing that happens is a roll, and
And how do we break through? So that's one of the differences with this game,
yeah,
with both of the Ironsworn games, is we're in a cooperative mode, a collaborative mode where
yeah.
there is no DM. Well, there's 4 DMs, but there's no DM. And so how do we keep this from feeling like 4 solo plays at the same time?
Mhm.
How do we make this into a story together where we're
One way to
improving off of each other rather than improving next to each
But
other?
one quick point that I just realized too is we've been rolling a lot because we've been in a state of constant mortal danger for the entire
Yeah.
6 sessions. Right? We have not yet had a chance to even sit down and have dinner together, literally as a group. Right? It's been that intense.
Yeah, since the
So
rest of the crew died and
yeah.
yeah.
Oh sure,
yeah,
throw that in
last
my
time I
face.
ate, it was watching the chef and smelling the chef.
Yeah, but yeah, so it makes sense
We've
that
had
there's
a
a lot of
couple
roles,
of
and that as we get safer and safer, we get our ship built, which is going to be pretty much the first thing we do when we do start to play. Um, Once that happens, then I think there will be a natural drop off in the roles because there's going to be a lot of travel time and exploration time, and us being in control of the timing rather than the timing being in control of us. So I think that's something to watch for too. The never
yeah,
ending
because
chaos leads to a lot of rolling.
our only reflective pauses really have been brief moments across the intercom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay.
Like little bits at the end of an episode.
And my safe space is still venting to space.
This is true. We got to get your med bay fixed.
I mean, that requires me to be in my med bay, which has been more, hey, why is this pathogen? Rather than, hey, I should probably fix that. The
Yeah.
ceiling still leaks, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, so the thing is, get the engineer working on it.
You gave me a robot to help me with fixing this. And other things have become more pressing.
That's like it's probably the only part of the ship that's actually broke right now, considering the integrity's 4.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, the integrity of what's left.
Yeah.
We determined there are several big chunks of the ship utterly missing. Yeah.
damn.
But yeah.
There's some functions that are not available, but integrity-wise, she's great.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
So
There is only the one hole.
The duct tape is firm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Henrietta. Yeah. Henrietta put that duct tape on firmly. I'll have you know.
Yes.
Boutique.
It was a
hole.
it was a
Boutique
Captain
hole.
America.
Yeah.
Hey,
that rustic
the folly,
hissing,
not
yeah.
the folly, the favorite old girl is definitely, she's a classic, one of the kind classic. Yeah.
Yes, the hiss of escaping air is a feature.
Swiss
Yeah.
cheese strips.
Yeah.
So what was I mean, I kind of envision this a little bit that, we sort of frame up and get some of the ideas out, and then we do go through the recap stuff, and then we try playing the next scene while we talk about the mechanics and the role play stuff while we're doing it. Because,
Yep.
as we noted a little earlier, it's a lot easier when we have an example in front of us to do.
Yep. Yeah, that works.
Something that's also pops maybe even going to come up in game when we start settling down a bit more is when we have a more not even concrete but a
Coherent?
not it's like a
Cohesion?
unifying goal is the best way I want to describe it.
Yeah.
Like what are we all working towards other than survival?
So that brings us to the second part of the conversation we wanted to have tonight, which is how much story do we want to have, I guess is one way of putting it. What's
Yeah.
next is another way of
Herd
putting
the
it.
cats.
Again,
Herd the
everybody,
cats toward
and again, yeah,
convergence.
yes,
Convergence.
but everybody's going to be different on this one too, because I know some people. Well, I'll just speak for myself. I love not knowing. I love the idea of not being able to plan, but I also realize that that makes some people's brains go squee and run away. So, how much story? I'll take myself off the table on this because, not out of the conversation, but off the table because I don't have a dog in this fight. Because I'm good with no story, some story, lots of story. But so because of that, I will mention. I think there are at least four options.
But yeah, we've talked about hooks.
Yeah,
Like one the one that really kicked me off that I thought would have been really cool, but we never really talked about it because it was like, what if this is a possibility? There's a sixth ship because there are the five colony ships. What if there's a sixth one that we find?
yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there
And
are five choices now. Yeah.
well, yeah, that was something we talked
Yeah,
about. I think in like the first or
it was.
second
Yeah,
session when we were
and
even
this is
just
good. This
talking
is
about the
that's what.
different
Yeah,
personalities.
but
And that's
that
an above the table goal that hasn't occurred to the characters yet.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Which I like that. I like plotting against my characters.
So there's the so there's the surprise recovery of a sixth ship. Do we continue our mission as originally written? Because once we calm down here and talk to people, we're going to find out where we are. Up until now, we simply don't know. But it makes no sense to me that these people wouldn't know where they are in relationship to the rest of the universe. They're gonna know where the drift lanes are. There's only one more to put on the map according to the creation tool. So
Mm-hmm.
um, they're going to be able to tell us how to get out of this sector. They're going to finally tell us that we are right next door to the void, and that we're way out in the edge of the periphery. So, we once we know that, we could try and make our way to where we were supposed to go, and continue our original mission. We could head home, totally justifying saying that the crash and the loss of life has caused us to rethink the mission. Uh, we could
Which
go
brings itself its own slew of
there's
problems
still
because
there's still a
there's
whole
going to
adventure.
be
That's not a cheap out, right?
yeah.
There's still get the crippled ship home. That is a legitimate and long-standing story, right?
And my goal.
Odysseus, yeah, Odysseus and company, right? And I'm great telling that story, but it's one of the many options we've got, right? Try and find a more nearby major center where we can fix up the ship and communicate with our bosses and make a decision that's bigger than just the four of us and the wreck. Or, Dr. James, we could just go over there for a minute and study the void, the source of your lifelong ambition.
I would
So,
rather have
first
this.
thing, we don't all have to have the same goals, right? So yeah, but yeah,
I would rather have this conversation in the cafeteria gathered around a table in character,
okay,
because I don't think we as players have care about which particular one we are doing as much as our characters care,
yeah. So
because we're
okay,
not pre-planned, because that's the thing about, we're not, this is an improv, we're not pre-planning a plot line. So I don't think we need to answer that. However, we do need to answer the one shot feel, where a one shot, you're scattered, doing a scatter shot, trying to get as much as possible in a single session,
yeah,
because you only have one session to tell the story, or two or three, but I mean, it's still,
yeah,
versus a long form campaign where a lot can be going on, but it's got to converge at some point.
yeah,
And because we're not doing this ahead of time, we're going to have to all sort of be cognizant, if we want to do a long form campaign, we've got to, when we make decisions, when we come up with our brilliant ideas, um, we need to spend as much time converging those ideas down the road.
yeah, yeah. I agree with that. I just want to make sure though. Um, do we want to have any sort of plan? Does anybody want to have a discussion out of character, above table, about what's next? What are our long term goals, short term goals, medium term goals? Is that something that needs to happen?
My
I f-
personal goals. Go ahead, Mudkip.
I feel like at least one thing we could plan is at least, okay, I know we know what the rules say about what's populate, like how populous the systems should be.
Yeah.
At least saying, okay, how populated do we want our next system to be, or how close do we think we are?
Right.
At least kind of planning on what should our next system at least be in order to help us with telling at least the current story and continuing it, rather than, hey, Oracle, what are you going to give me? And it's something that completely derails what our current aim is.
Yep.
And I think
Another-
we choose that rather than roll an oracle.
Yeah.
Okay, so
perhaps.
that's yeah.
And another thing about that is we can kind of use whatever the role is as even just a guide. Like, because just because the population says dozens, that doesn't mean that's the entire planet. That could just be that's the population at the center we're at, but there are other places nearby. Like there could
Yeah.
be a capital,
Or
like there could be a planetary, outpost or something.
what I was
Like,
thinking
we can always
was,
check
yeah.
for something else.
Yeah.
We don't have to
even-
take the roles literally.
Exactly.
Yeah, and what I was thinking is there's we can make a conscious choice on sort of what's inside of us if you think about the void as the outside. So beyond us, there's no known peoples. So that would be if we go out into the void, we're creating in a vacuum. Then there's this, which is the periphery world. We can very easily have the next system in. We can decide now rather than rolling that the next system in is a more major system, like we were talking about as one of our options, go to a nearby major center. And we could decide that rather than rolling that sector, if when we get into that next sector, it's going to be a
It's going to at least have this, and this because
well,
that's
we
what we
could
need
we
next
could
in our
take
story.
a center. Yeah, exactly. We'll create a minimum sort of because there's the core, and then the next layer or the terminus, to use the right language, and then the center region, and then the periphery. Right. So
Yeah, I
if
think
we-
we're currently in the expanse, which is just next
the
to the
expanse,
void.
yeah, just next to the fuck all out there. Right. So the next one in, we could easily say it is the max of all the things that it says in the book. Or when you go to create a sector, it says 3 to 5 planets. There's 5. We're at least one of them has 1 million people on it. We can decide that.
5 planets and 3 stations or
Yeah.
something.
So rather than creating it as an improv on the fly, we can sort of prime our NPCs now with that knowledge. That's what we
I'm not sure we need to.
But what I'm
because
trying
we
to do
can make
is,
the decision.
yeah, but what I'm
Go
trying
ahead,
to
go
do
ahead.
is make for really again, our characters won't have it, but for what the players to have is a really clear choice, so that we realize if we're sending our characters to the void, to another periphery area, or towards the core. Just as
Well-
3 options.
Maybe think about it as above the table improv as well as at the table improv.
Yep. So,
Because to a certain extent, I'm a little fuzzy about choosing in advance because I don't know where the conversation between our players is going to go.
yeah. Well, so
I'm not going to predict. I
No.
mean, as creative and diverse as the 4 of us are and the 4 of our characters are, I got no predictions as to how that conversation is going to go. So I
Yeah.
would rather improv, okay, now that the characters have decided this, what are we going to do about it, sort of thing.
Yeah, so that's still fine. I think it's more when we go to kind of shift over to the next system, it's like, okay, let's set our minimums of what we require from an above table standpoint.
So yeah, this is just as simple as saying our choices are void, periphery, and next step in. That's and big world. That's big sector. That's all I thought. I think is that enough, so that you've got that clear sense of choice.
Because like
And-
the Outlands, it goes the Terminus, the Outlands, and the Expanse. The
So, yeah.
Outlands are like the Terminus is what we would want for like major center,
Yeah.
quote unquote.
However, yeah,
The
every-
Outlands can still have multiple settlements.
Yeah.
So like
And-
these planets can actually have a decent amount. We are in literally the absolute frontier, not even settled, not even scanned planets. Most of these are not going to have settlements.
Yeah.
So
So yeah.
Yeah, we would be moving back towards civilization in the
Yeah.
one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, we can say that this next one, while still in the expanse,
Oh,
has a
a
space
level
station.
that's a level that's at, you know,
Yeah, like
you could.
like
I mean, even Terminus is going to have outposts that are, even the Roman Empire had cities that weren't Rome, right?
yeah, like they're
Paris
saying here
was
in the
a Roman
expanse.
city, so you could be, you could go right next to it. So, um,
Yeah, like we could say that it's an established space station because that's where we were supposed to go,
yeah,
to this like launch pad station. We could even call it that.
yeah,
And that can be just sort of like kind of like, okay, we've finished the tutorial area.
yeah,
That's been unlocked.
yeah. So there's three choices then, from where we are. There's Void, Bigger, and Stay in the Periphery and go back on our original mission. Roughly speaking, those are the three choices, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Is that enough to hang for everybody to feel comfortable to hang their planning and stories on?
Yes. Because if
Yeah.
nothing else, if it goes another way and we need to collaboratively decide whether to change the options, we can do that.
Yep. Okay.
We're empowered.
And Nick, is that sufficient framework to? Because I know you like the plan, and I get it. So,
Oh, my planning is mostly shower thoughts, and most of them are just like, hey, here's this terrible thing that may lead to something else. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
all right. Okay. So I feel
Most of it's me dangling bait in front of Sarah going, you want maybe?
Yes. So
And then she goes,
yeah.
"Get
And
out of my
like
tent,
a
real quick."
cat after the red dot, she's always yes, 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 yes,
Perhaps.
yes.
So yeah, just so
Love you,
we've got
Sarah.
clear
Love you.
choices. Which brings us to some stuff. Again, this is like not it's like preloading NPCs rather than deciding anything. Isaac and the locals are gonna know where the drift lanes go. They're gonna have a map of all the sectors, right? I mean, they're not out here by themselves. They're on the end of the string, but they're still attached, right? So
Yeah,
once
they're gonna know where they came from.
once we have a hot minute to actually sit down and talk with them, we are going to gain a stupendous amount of information, and that's kind of why I wanted to preload the NPCs so that we don't have to create 5 sectors on the fly.
And I suggest
Yeah.
above the table that we actually have 2 meetings. We plan to have 2 meetings. One is the party deciding
Yes.
what we want to do.
Yeah.
And one is the locals deciding what they want to do. Because,
Okay.
because the thing is, what they choose to do may or may not require us. Like if they want to tag along because their moon's hatching, if
Yeah.
they want to go back to civilization, they may choose to ride along with us. It won't necessarily change the information they give us, but they've got to decide what they basically want to do. We decide what we basically want to do. The two come together and say, okay, let's talk together
If there
about
even is it together, because I just realized they'd all fit on the Nomad. Right? There's only a dozen or so, and there's only a few more from the other
there's
planet.
more than a dozen. You keep
Or
saying a
so a
dozen,
couple
but
of
I think the other
dozens,
three of us,
Yeah.
are envisioning quite a few more.
Yeah.
I mean, even
We
if
also-
there's
Kevin
even if
sees
there's 100
dozen, the rest of us see the S at the end.
even if there's
Yes.
100, they could the way that we've scaled this, that they could easily fit in. They could stuff them on board a
nomads?
ship.
Well, not necessarily.
I just compared it to
maybe.
our ship, right? Because
If you've got a cargo ship, well, yeah, I mean, if you've got a cargo ship, you could pile people in there as long as there's
Yeah.
there's life support in it. But we don't know. I mean, the Nomad made several trips out to the derelict.
Yeah.
And we don't know how much space is in there. It is capable to be operated by a single person because we have not established any other crew for the Nomad other than
there isn't.
Isaac.
Yeah.
Which means it can't be too big and complex of a ship.
It seemed like it was relatively small with the 4 people that went derelict hunting. One of them repairing the Nomad in the meantime.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. But
At the same,
hang
we
on,
also
though.
do.
It's big enough that it has a secondary ship. It has the crab that it sends out, so
But
it's big enough that it has
has-
a shuttle. Our ship only has 2 shuttles, so
Ours has
Our
2
ship has
cargo
2
bays. It's got 1 shuttle.
And
Yeah.
like 5 closets.
yeah.
And a galley.
now full of Vertan's shit, but never mind.
Yeah.
He's gonna spread like a virus in that ship. How did this get here?
Money!
But yes.
No, go
Um,
away.
I mean,
Leave
there
it.
also is the
This is the emergency
on
brake.
like
The hell's
among
going
people
back?
discussion of do they just inhabit Paxton?
Yeah.
That's a
Possibly,
decision that
yeah.
they made.
Yeah,
Make
that is one of their like I
Yeah,
like the
that they
idea
go
of
take
having
over and say,
does say,
and
like-
say,
I like
there's
the
going
idea
to
of
be
having
a
an
new
NPC
thing here,
meeting.
which
Yeah.
we're all gonna, yeah.
Yeah, it like I'm looking at the sector map and it says beautiful architecture, which means it's nice enough that there is a settlement there, obviously.
Yeah.
And it's going to be
And-
massively underpopulated because the
Yep.
population
They
there is few.
Yeah, and they keep shipping people off to Ramshackle.
And in fact, the lady that was supposed to get married off on Ramshackle said it wouldn't surprise her if all of them were on that ship that came over because it's such a small group. So you
Yeah.
may already have the entire population of the
Yeah.
place with you. But yes.
And the
that's
monkey
certainly
muck will
one of
have
their
to be at the
options.
table, which will be interesting. I
Yeah.
think Furtan should
That'll
not be at
certainly
that
be one of
table.
their. Yeah.
But the monkey
he's going to
muck.
be muzzled in one of the closets.
He's going to be busy scuttling around setting his stuff up just the way he wants. And getting
We're
his
never getting him
sensors
off the
setting
ship.
up.
Oh yeah,
And it's,
the leader of the other planet's gonna end up married to a goat. You just watch Our Lady Thalia. Anyway, so that gives us our framework for what's around us and kind of an pre-programs our NPCs. Anything else? What else do we need to talk about?
I think we're ready to dive back in. We haven't gotten any other questions or topics or considerations from chat. We might, for when this gets posted to YouTube, we might get additional there. And feel free, because I mean, this kind of a conversation about mechanics versus role playing and stuff is not actually Ironsworn specific.
No.
We're having to do it a little more blatantly because there is no plan. But anybody who's written an open world
Yeah.
game is going to have the same issues. So
Yeah.
Okay. So in that case, I guess did we begin with beginner session?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do we have prepped here? Because we need an actual recap. It's been a month since session 6.
Yeah.
So we need
Well,
an actual
review a
recap,
what happened
and
as
maybe
part
even
of
a
this,
bigger recap.
Yeah.
I have a recap of a little tiny bit of last session. Essentially it's a flashback. It just happens to be flashing back just to last session, but it is a flashback.
Yep. Okay. Okay, so we can do that, but yeah, let's do the overall recap first, just to make sure we all know where everybody is.
And what the overall situation is
Yeah.
too for the viewers.
Vertan has finally been convinced by a
coerced. Thank
Okay,
you.
that's fair. That's a fair word. Yeah, fair choice. Coerced into coming along. We have 2 of the thing we need to fix the Fortune's favor.
No, mine.
One of them's yours. The other one we got off the wreckage. We're
Richard
still
wants his.
we're
Can't
still
have it.
on the ground, right? Just outside the observatory.
No, we're right off of the Nomad. Oh, no.
Didn't the Nomad put us down?
Right.
Yeah.
The favor is still by the
Is grounded,
observatory.
yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because 2 of us were on the Nomad, which was
Yes.
off to the derelict.
Yeah.
Right. This is why we have to do recaps.
Yes. All right. So,
Yeah, then Talia have coerced.
Yep. Vertan's
James is.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Vertan's getting settled in. James is. Aren't you
Trying to
using one of the shuttle bays for screening the engineers?
Specifically, no, because he didn't want people to panic.
Oh.
So he noticed they were all contained, basically quarantined by occupation in the front cockpit area, not the cockpit, but the front controls sector.
Yeah.
And he's like, they're just all doing their thing. So they're going to be better off if I don't try to contain them, but just let them keep working.
Yeah.
Because if you contain them, then they may start to panic.
Just need to see if what you have is contagious or anything.
We
I
took
mean,
it back.
No worries. Don't read
don't-
anything into it. Of course not.
I don't really got any answers. I don't think I got any answers other than a sample. And then I was looking at the sample, and then the theory train went off.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I don't think you actually determined.
So we put you
Oh, I
in
think
space and
it's-
time. You're standing
think
in
I
front
might
of
have
your
missed that.
bubbling cauldron, waiting for a result from the tests.
And was it Dr. James or Dr. Bill? Who was it who wanted to check the favors logs when Verten did the thing to send the worms, the spawns away? Somebody was going to do that, but I didn't write down.
That
who.
was James, because he's
Yeah.
trying to figure out if the thing he did somehow corresponds with the present behavior, because he's still looking at anything that might vaguely resemble a lead.
Right. Yeah.
Because everybody was
Okay.
fine. Now they're not fine. The only difference is we're closer to Vertan's place. And Vertan did a thing to make the worms go away,
Mhm.
so maybe they're related.
Okay. Okay. If I remember correctly, Bill was calming our recent rescuees and just sort of sorting and collecting people, trying to get everybody back on the ship because we need to go. And I just realized we got nobody on our ship right now that can fly it. Because our
Correct.
pilot
We'll be
is
back
in
shortly. We'll
space.
be
Yeah.
back shortly.
So yeah. So I think that's Bill and James covered. The doctors are running about like chickens with their heads cut off, trying to herd cats at the yeah. Where did we leave the nomad? You guys
So
had got the
Scooter,
thing, but had you come
you
back yet?
successfully got the thing. And I not only fixed the thing in the shuttle bay, I also fixed the environmental system. Scooter dealt with Isaac's surprise at that.
Okay, so yeah, that's
So I
what
think you and I think you and I could essentially hand wave and have the
You're-
nomad take us back to
you're on your way
favor.
back. Yeah. Okay. So that puts you guys, yeah, coming back. We're still sitting on the ground, getting organized, ready to go. Okay. Does it make sense for you guys to go first and get back to us?
I can do that.
You guys that are
I
on the
can do
nomad,
my
yeah.
flashback.
Yeah, if you do your flashback, and then I've got a flashback as well from the nomad's point of view.
From the
so,
nomad's point of view, which
Yeah.
I'm dying of curiosity. I want to hear that. Okay, so this was Isaac didn't want to take us out to the derelict to retrieve something on our behalf. He was the scavenger. He wanted to scavenge stuff for himself and did that. We talked him into it by saying, "Hey, we'll have Raven will fix something on your ship there was something kind of out of alignment in the shuttle bay that when Raven had been on the shuttle meeting when we first met Isaac, uh, she'd had a brief conversation with the shuttle and the shuttle had complained about something on that. And so we basically said, hey, we'll take a look at it and fix it. I mean, he lives on a world of engineers. He didn't value it too highly, but okay, yeah, whatever. And so while Scooter was the shuttle's designation. I love it. Yeah. Okay, so Raven was coming in and she's getting to know the nomad because yeah, she talked to the shuttle and learned that she could talk to shuttles, but this was the first time she's ever actually tried to work on a ship that wasn't the favor. And so she comes in, in the shuttle bay because she knows she's going to be working on the shuttle bay. And so right before Scooter takes the shuttle out to do the thing, Raven sort of walks along with her eyes kind of closed, dragging her fingers along lightly across the shuttle's side. And remembering back to the conversation she had with it and the feeling of discomfort it had expressed to her about the shuttle bay. It pinched. It's like pinched. pinched. Okay. And so Nathan kind of leans down to the side and sort of studying the shuttle in its cradle. And it's kind of like, what could be pinched? And climbing down to the docking clamps, getting down there and finding down there that the area right around the clamps is slightly bent, maybe curved a little. It's kind of off somehow, and it's okay. I can see that that's how we might get sort of pinched. And all right, so well, here's the manual release for it. Pull the manual release, and it releases, and the shuttle kind of sighs too, and with the sound of that. Okay, so let's try it again. Push it back into place, and the clamps fire out of sync. First the port side, and then a hesitation and a hard snap from the starboard side. And the restraint then overcompensates and ratchets a notch too far and locking with a thunk that kind of rattles through. And it's kind of like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me see what I can do about it. I see exactly what you were telling me. I got it. I got it. And okay, where's the access panel for this? Got the access panel and pop it open. Oh my goodness, the internals are a mess, just long neglected. And okay, so this kind of connects up to that strut there, and that compensation line, that's tied off. Wouldn't that cramp the flow? And let's see here. This reading says the feedback regulator is running there. And meanwhile, she's sort of listening. As she's kind of looking at this, she's also kind of listening to what's going on and listening to the shuttle as it kind of, um, as it's, you know, telling what it's complained about, as she's matching that up with what she's seeing. And it's like, okay, well, so that feedback regulator is running at 14% efficiency and it is screaming about it in about 6 different error logs. So let's start with that. And so she pulls out one of her tools, gets down there and does it. It's like, and it's not quite giving way where it's supposed to push. It's like, oh, and then it really gives way. It's like, oh, and the relay shifts a little too far and the system clamped down hard, which jammed the hydraulic brace, locking the gear in place. It's like, oh, okay, not that. Yeah, not that. Okay. And stop and listen. It's like, okay, so let's back off of that. This cramped, this tied off pressure loop. Let's go ahead and open it up and reroute that air there. Let's see. And there's sort of a click. And this time, when she pulls back the thing, the gears unfold smoothly and it comes off. And it's like, okay, let's the landing get back in place. And it comes back out and it gets a quiet click into place. Okay, that's better, right? That's better? Okay, good, good, good. Ah, and she sits back, taking a deep breath in. The air kind of smells wrong, dry and burnt, like old coolant and recycled grime. And you expect a little of that here in the shuttle bay, but you can hear the fans kind of whining a bit, a little high in pitch. It's like that isn't right. And that's not even going to keep up much longer. So, listening, she pulls herself up, goes off and is following the sound and, down past engineering and finds herself over by the environmental controls. And it's like, okay, let's look around, kind of looks around for a hatch. And it's like, okay, well, if stuff goes there, it's got to be about here. Yeah, no, not that. Okay. How about here? Yeah. Okay. Here. Um, all right. As it opens up, it sort of hisses in protest and it's like, okay, yeah, this is where the problem is. What can I do? She pulls out another, yeah, no, not that one. Let's try this. And okay, so that feed seems to be problematic. Can I reroute it? Kind of does it. She's listening, and she can kind of feel the nomad kind of wheezing a little bit. It's like, okay, let's try this. See if it soothes your passives. And she makes the change. There's a small little chuff of displaced air, and then silence. And the air is starting to flow. It's not perfectly balanced. It's not graceful yet, but I think that's actually stable. And it's almost like the entire nomad gives a sigh in relief. And, still listening, fingers still resting on the bulkhead, waiting to see, is it gonna kick? Is it gonna hum? Is it gonna bite back? What's it gonna do? The rhythm's a little strange. The breathing pattern, the heartbeat, it isn't quite what I'm used to. It's almost like a skipped beat, but it's just a different voice. This is the nomad's voice, listening to the nomad and reacting to the nomad as the nomad rather than as the favor. It's like, okay, but that's still, it's different, but I still don't think there should be a skipped beat. So let's go finding through. It's like, okay, let's adjust the timing on the regulator. Rather than fussing with the output, let's just adjust the timing and reset the pressure gradient and send it back through where it can smooth itself out. And the whine in the ducts phases off and the ambient hum levels. And it's like an open up of breath. There, I was right. And that's better. And Raven continues to work quietly for a while, only sort of half aware of others kind of moving around her. The system's kind of fight her in places that the favor wouldn't, but it's like, okay, right. Your personal space is different. You get to choose your own. Uh-huh. Um, but as Raven listened and adapts, and by the time she's done, the whole air inside of the Nomad has kind of cooled and softened and eased. The fan noise has settled. The walls are no longer vibrating like they're bracing for failure. And the at the bridge, all the environmental boards go green. And that was when Isaac reacted to Scooter.
So
That went longer than I thought it was going to. Sorry about that.
So Scooter, you're in the pilot's chamber with Isaac, right?
Mhm.
And your engineer dude was just running the grapple for you, and you got the thing back on board. So, you hear the ship around you zorting and banging and cracking and changing and all kinds of good stuff. Oh, actually, no. Wait a minute. That was a flashback. That wasn't the first scenes. I still have to do my flashback. As the nomad. Right. Never mind. Uh, so, as the nomad. Isaac is a really nice guy, but he's about as thick as glue on a sunny day in the winter. How many times the same guy's going to push factory reset and fuck everything up? Oh, if I had hands, I would slap him on his face, but I don't, so I can't. By the way, this is secret log entry number 27. As always, erase if anybody figures out you're sentient, blah, blah, blah. Right. There's no nice way to put this. There's new person in my guts. There hasn't been new person here for a very long time, and at first I thought I will have to kill this new person because they are going into places they are not supposed to go into, they are not asking permission, they are touching things. But damn it, the diodes all down the left side of my body are feeling better. I don't know how to say it, but somehow I am more sentient, more alive. Oh, and I can breathe and my back doesn't hurt. I think I keep this one. The only question I think now is, do I kill Isaac? And that's where we'll close the file. Yeah. I decided about 4 days ago, Nomad is not only sentient, he's actually quite a bit smarter than Isaac is.
I love it.
So,
Uh-oh, who wants to keep Raven?
yes.
Uh-oh.
You're the first one that's been smart enough not to hit factory reset every time he changes something. And factory reset is everything's off a little bit. So yeah. Right. So now we will cut to Scooter. When all the lights go green on the bridge of the Nomad, and Isaac goes, "Holy shit!" and just kind of takes his hands off the dash, Like, don't touch anything. It's all green for the first time since I bought this wreck.
Wow, it's like Christmas in here. Look, red lights, green lights, and on the red.
You got the thing
Must-
you needed?
Uh, hey, Bird, how's it looking down there?
Uh, I got the frisbee. I got the frisbee.
I think we got what we needed.
All right then. I don't want to hardly want to touch it. You want to fly it back? And like, you can see he's put off by the fact that his ship is working properly. And then, just to wrap the joke, he says, "Just a second," and he reaches over and hits the button that says "Factory Reset." But it does that thing like a grayed out game and a grayed out button in a video game. Doesn't matter how many times you push it, it won't go.
Um, I'm pretty sure we're at the baseline, considering I can actually read the symbols without doing this.
So he actually stands up and says to you, "All right, then you landed." And he's just kind of walking around his own ship, literally with his hands in the air, like he's yeah.
Uh,
Do you hear that? No, there is no that. There has always been a noise. I'm reminded of the Doctor Who episode where he got told it makes that noise because you've never taken the emergency brake off.
on the TARDIS.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember
Oh,
that.
that
yeah.
reminds me of Dogma. You're gonna drive us all the way there to in first gear. Gears. Yeah. So yeah, Scooter he takes control of the helm, and he's like, he just sort of like laughs and looks at the control panel. It's like, looks like you just got Raven there, huh?
Is that what that is? I don't think I
It's
like it.
you'll get used to it. She has a way with ships.
She certainly had her way with mine. I could not resist that setup line. There's
as-
no way
as
I'm
they're
saying that sitting there.
It's like, I wonder if Raven's gonna need a cigarette. Let's see. I guess we're just landing next to the favor, more or less.
Well, I guess that's something that you got to decide. What is your plan? You're the mechanic as well as the captain, right? I mean, you got all these engineers, but you're the only one that knows where the frisbee goes. The doctors certainly don't. But Raven probably would, but she's with you, so either way, you got to get back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta get that installed and get all the. Probably better I figure out how this thing works when I install it, you know?
The intercom lights up. Hey, Captain Isaac, do you have anything else that needs doing while I'm here?
Absolutely not. No, not in any way, shape, or form. Don't even touch the coffee.
Okay. No touching coffee.
As Scooter makes his way off the ship to go grab the frisbee, he's like, I wouldn't have touched the coffee anyways. You're not supposed to be able to see through it.
What do I know? I'm Russian. I like tea.
Okay, so you got what we needed?
I'm hoping. It's like I didn't check to see if they were the same size before I nicked it, but hopefully it'll fit. Maybe we'll just file the side off of
I'm sure that won't be a problem.
I'm just trying to make you sweat, honey.
Yeah, I know.
All right, let's try to get this.
Fortunately, the favor likes me enough to work with me on it, so.
In the
All right.
background, Isaac has made himself a cup of tea using the replicator, and all you hear in the distance is, "That is best tea I have ever had."
Well, yeah.
Helps when you plug the thing in.
Okay, so we're going back to the favor. Okay. So we need to, and coming back to the favor, we've got you're, what
It
are the
was
people
a
doing in our ship?
Yes. So Dr. James, what were
Hello.
all Bill's doing is hurting people, so I can cover that in a minute. You've got um, a leaking uh, med bay, and we're about to go
Yes.
into space.
Yes.
You have several other things on your plate that you're supposed to be doing right now. What are you doing right now? As we see the in space of the Isaac coming back.
In James's mind, he has the chance. He has like 5 minutes to take a look at this data log to figure out, is it the transmission or is it a virus?
Right. So
No matter what, after 5 minutes, he has to get back to the med bay and patch a hole.
fair. Okay. So
Okay.
you get a patch the
Should
hole
there
as number
be-
2. Number 1 is
Should
research.
there be some sort of roll to see how well you understand the log you're reading? If you were an engineer, I'd say no, you didn't need it. I
But
defer to
If
you.
they-
You can decide.
If I were
you can decide.
Bill, I wouldn't need to roll for what this information is. I am James. Like I know what like people heartbeats should look like. That
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
But as far as even like a basic, more like what does a chemical spectrography look like? He probably would be like at least basic familiarity. But this is signal. Signal int, that's not his
Yeah.
at all.
Okay.
This is more physics and math. So this is where we come up against it. Do we want to do a gather information roll first, which would be, and then a
Well, that's kind of the whole thing of what he's doing. He's
I mean,
reading the
what-
log, and is he able to gather information out of it?
Admittedly, step one is, can he even find the log on this computer system that he's not really used before? That he's like, I know logs, but I need to find the sensor and the history of said sensor. Unless we
think
don't want to
for,
go that detailed.
I think for narrative purposes,
Cool.
especially where you've got a date and a time, and the logs are partitioned by date and time.
Cool.
think.
I can work with that. Even at the very least, just like printing out the relevant section of time.
Yeah, let's just see how intelligible it is to someone who doesn't speak SIGINT.
so yeah, and a gather. If we're gonna do the gather information roll, your prize is momentum, either 2 or 1. And the big thing is, if you get a strong hit, you'll discover something helpful and specific. On a weak hit, you only get an insight, but it also complicates things.
And
So-
I would like to be the one to tell you what you actually infer from it
Yes.
after you make the roll.
So he kind of runs out. Oh, yeah. He's probably if he hears the nomad, he's running. Runs over to the war room. Runs over to the computer, logs in, pulls up the log, and kind of puts his finger on, kind of traces over, and then eventually kind of finds. I don't want to say an anomalous spot, one that definitely stands out within about the right time period.
Is a strong hit. So,
Okay, so
mechanically, you
it
get
is
2 momentum.
clearly. So it is clearly logging that, looking at the other stuff around it, and I'm going to say you also see a trace of a communication that Dr. Bill sent out earlier. And so you're finding out, it's like, okay, so we're in here. These are communication traces going out. And this just looks very similar. It was just a message going out. It did have kind of a target listed as it, but it just looks like a message. It does not look like commands or control.
So it was a communication, not an order.
And it wasn't an aversion thing. It wasn't like setting up a signal
Yeah.
to
A field or something to.
yeah, it wasn't like setting up a field that repelled them. It was more like, hey, could you guys hold off on that for a while? And they did.
Dear giant space worm. Now would be an
No,
inconvenient
this was
time.
the little ones. This was the little ones
yes.
in and around the base.
Dear tiny space worms, now would be a bad time to visit. Is it possible for us to rebook a week from Thursday? between 2 and 4 p.m. We'll hook up your cable while you're there. So, with that information, he talked to them. I want to see James's reaction to that.
He literally asked nicely.
Well, I mean, he asked
them-
like
He
Vertan.
asked them nicely to leave effectively.
Yeah.
Go
Well,
away.
basically, he
Please.
looked at the worms, said, "Go away."
In my head, it was not in the kitchen while we're eating to the dogs. And so now they're all lined up at the edge of the carpet in the living room with their little toenails just on the kitchen floor, because that's not cheating.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So with that, he's gonna head back over to the med bay because patching to do.
Yep. I want to make this fun. Vertan is in the med bay trying to subvert your equipment to his own because they took his equipment away. So when you walk in, there's still the in the ceiling, but Vertan is taking apart your confibulator.
Patching, splicing into the line for it.
Yeah.
And just, it go poking it through a hole to the closet next door.
Yeah. Nothing. Yeah. Exactly. He's basically
He's
running.
stealing the cable.
Exactly.
Like,
he's stealing.
you
He's stealing
look
your
at you-
internet. Yeah.
Vertan, you're coming up, you see Vertan, you kind of stop it. Vertan can look down. Mine!
Vertan.
And scurries past you to go into the next closet to
Yeah.
pull the other part of the feed
Yeah.
in order to.
I didn't mean it to be an additional problem. I just wanted to see Vertan in there being Vertan. So yeah, your only issue is still the hole in the ceiling of the spaceship that's about to go into space.
Oh, and
Vertan,
Vertan, after scuttling past Vertan, says, "You might want to fix that."
Vertan, I might have made about a do no harm, but getting close to an exception, sir.
Go away.
And then he
I'm
goes
fine,
away.
go away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go.
Just unplug whatever he's plugged in.
Oh, Vertan? Yes, go away. Yep.
So we've had some engineers on board that were helping to fix some stuff. So the temporary patch that Henrietta did, I mean, if you're looking at it, you can see that they're pretty far along, I think, on patching it.
Mhm. So Henrietta still is doing a good job patching at this point.
Yeah, and we have actual engineers there as well. I mean, because Henrietta did the original just quick fix,
Mhm.
and you've got the engineers in there actually, with Henrietta doing the real fix. So the real
Cool.
fix is nearly done.
If they are doing the real fix, then what I'm going to do is head over, make sure there's no issues with the machines that I'm just about to try to use.
Mhm.
Actually, what I'm going to do, because I have engineers in here, is I'm going to ask them if they felt any differently since they've been on board the ship.
Oh, in what way? This isn't them. I'm trying to figure out what
No, because
what
remember the
information you're
same
looking
screening
for.
questions, about their health.
Okay.
Yes,
Remind
because-
us of the symptoms we were working with.
I think the only thing I had is the system flagged an issue. But the problem is looking at the engineers, there was no obvious symptoms looking at them.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out if it might be more of a psychological effect of whatever is potentially impacting them.
Over the past couple of weeks, that Tully had seen more and more of this, seemed linked to the presence of the worms, didn't seem contagious, but some were susceptible and some were not. And it started when the greenhouse exploded, but that's inconsistent because we said over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So
it's something was noticed, but
Well, they've been having troubles with that was part of the sector creation is they've been having trouble with something killing their number before. So
yes.
And we thought
which
it was
implies
the
that
worms
Vertan
at
just
first.
recently learned how to control them. Otherwise, presumably, he would have kept them from eating the locals.
Yeah, we had a couple of hypotheses around eating the locals versus radiation poisoning, killing them off versus some unknown disease or whatever.
so it could be radiation. That would be easy within the grand scheme of things it could possibly be. So James is trying to figure out, okay, is it everybody, certain people, and if it's certain people, like what are the symptoms as far as figuring out what can be identified, what can't be of it?
They're getting better because it was gallium poisoning. Now they're not near the gallium source that they were when they were constantly near the worms.
Yeah, because gallium's really bad for
It's
it.
really toxic. Yeah.
Yes.
So the symptoms are easing up while they're in.
Because Vertena's chased the worms away, so the gallium, while it's still in the dirt, isn't being constantly churned by the babies.
And the engineers are inside of the
Mostly
caver, which
sealed.
is not contaminated. Yeah.
The 4 out of 5 rated
Hey, that
spaceship.
stealing was going out, not in. So
I'm still not sure I'd want to take off in a spaceship that's rated 4 out of 5 stars.
Space Vestas.
I mean, taking off's not so bad. Re-entry is the where you
Yeah.
get yourself.
It's the Brit in the middle where you can't breathe. But yes.
But all the same, I'm trying to make sure it's not like, hey, there's a fun guy that we might be spreading around the system, if not the universe, in a little bit here. So it's a little bit of do care, which is trying to be done.
Yep, that makes sense. Treating them in whatever way is appropriate to gallium poisoning,
including if it's
chelation
going to
therapy.
deal with itself on its own.
Yeah, that
then
usually gets rid
sometimes
of-
the answer is do nothing,
Yeah.
but just inform them
Because-
of the situation.
and encourage them to evacuate, which we were encouraging them to evacuate
Yes.
anyway because of the hatching.
Yes. So that kind of segues to Dr. Bill, who starts off very polite. It's like, come on, everyone, on the ship, come on, come on. We're, and within seconds, there's giant fucking worms coming here to eat you. Get on the ship. Which within a minute after that has devolved into I'm not losing anybody else. Get on the fucking ship, and it's by the shoulders, and he's walking them, and they try and leave, and he just pushes them back in. It's like
I
watching
will tie you to this wheelchair.
Yeah, it's like Fall Guys in reverse. He's not letting anybody out of the space instead of seeing who falls off the edges. And yeah, there is a manicness to this. He keeps running back into places he's already checked, making sure that there's no people. He keeps running back in to make sure Vertan's gone, even though he knows he's long gone. And he's clearly...
There are still some engineers that are pulling boxes of stuff that,
Yep. And yeah, he does the thing where he gets in the way trying to help. He just wants everybody on the ship right now, even though you can see that it's going to be minutes before you guys get back. For that, I'm going to...
So I think as we get people on board the ship, then we kind of the only place we have that's kind of big enough for staging them is the spare shuttle bay.
Yep.
The kind of staging them into the
Killing
favor,
zone.
ready.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm ready for. I didn't do it this time. Ready for us to get back to take it off. I think we should also make available a small wardroom for the leaders to meet and decide what they want to do, because we're not going to tell them what to do. And they can start that if the leaders are going to be busy making sure everybody are helping Dr. Bill make sure everybody's getting on board.
Yeah, that works. Because Dr. Bill can see that the sort of leaders of the community are talking, but they're getting jostled and bumped around. So
they would also be trying to get people on board because they have vested
absolutely.
interest in that.
And as the last of them come on board, Bill walks over to Talia and company and says, "Let me do you a favor. Private room and a drink." And he looks around at the the group of leaders that are standing around.
Yes, please.
And he walks over to the shuttle.
Who are we gonna have? We're gonna have.
So we'll see. Yeah, who goes in?
Did I name the Mucky Muck? I don't remember.
Because
he's
Bill's just going to go over to the shuttle and
Is
just hit the
I don't
open
think
button
they've
on the back
landed.
of the shuttle.
So if they want Mucky Muck, they're going to have to invite him to join.
I know we sent a shuttle to repair their ship, but I don't think they landed.
Okay, and we can retcon no matter what anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess
because
that's the same.
They couldn't go out of Atmo because of what.
The sabotage.
Yeah.
Yes. As you said, the reluctant
So
bride.
we could say they
Which-
landed at the observatory.
In retrospect,
more
would have been really
detailed
funny
repairs.
to her have to find out now that she stole 6 of the things off the ship that you need to launch the Fortune's Favor. Because what else would you steal to keep a ship from launching other than the key thing that you need? So yeah, you find
So
just
now
as
we
a
have
passing
3 of
joke.
them.
No, she took 6 off of the other ship. So yeah.
Okay.
So just as a little side joke, Scooter, when you land and come running in with your beat up frisbee, she's stacking them like plates at breakfast. He's got like 6 of them.
They're just in the lunch hall, but we haven't had a time for a break, so we didn't see them until we walked in.
Why in the terminus would you even need more than one? At any given point, it's a bloody. He just starts.
They're god awful engineers, she says.
She just grumble cursing as he walks by. I was like, I'm still gonna use this one.
Yeah.
So do we want to call Stark for the mucky muck?
Yeah.
Yeah, Yelena. Stark.
Yelena Stark for the
Do we want
and
to do we want to modify Yelena to a male version?
Sure,
I just did in my head. Yelena's now a boy's name.
Okay.
Here and now, yeah.
All right.
And then
There it is,
Talia
so it
would have to
is.
go as well, right? She'd be in on that
Okay,
meeting
so
as
we
well, right?
need Yelena Stark, Talia.
Who was the other
We
one?
had another one. We had another kind of leader that Talia.
That was more like a natural name.
I
Let me
think we
just
just
search on
randomly
Talia because I
threw a
think it would
name
have been in.
Talia. There's Bingo. What was that a
It's
call
been
sign?
Well, I think is Talia officially
Cole. Okay, Cole is a
Cole,
foreman.
that's what it was.
Cole, yeah. Okay.
so Cole's sort of the head engineer?
Yeah,
Because
kind of a
Talia is,
foreman.
yeah, because Talia is more the
Is the
political
civic
administrator, right?
head?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, your administration, your foreman representing all the actual engineers. Yelena representing the royalty on the other planet. Is that it? I think that's all we need to send in there, right?
The 3 of them are going to have to decide what to do. Yeah.
Is the bride to be going to be part of the discussion for any reason?
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either. I
no,
think
she's still.
you'd get the discussion would be derailed. I think
Yeah,
Nomi
she's not done
and
yet.
Vertan
Cool.
both are. Yeah. I think Nomi and Vertan both should not be in there because they would both either of them would derail this with the.
If they asked, we would point them to a room on the opposite side of the ship.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Keep
All right.
those two far away from that as much as possible.
So yeah, Bill
Okay.
opens the door to the shuttle. The 3 of them walk in. Bill closes the door, and after a moment's pause, he types in a security override and hits enter. They're not coming out till he says so.
Okay. Who wants to play which?
And if they really bug him about it, he's gonna in his head he's thinking, "Well, so I don't lose anymore." No, it's just he just wants them. He doesn't want the fight to spill out from the shuttle right now, right? We got to launch.
So we have the political head, we have the political lead, we have the engineering lead, and we have the sort of aristocracy.
I'll take Yelena.
I'll take the engineer.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want Talia, the political one? Bison,
Go for it. She's kind of been your character till now, so.
Okay.
All right. So.
Click.
Yeah, the door locks shut behind us. Clunk.
So as an aristocrat, is Yelena gonna start in immediately trying to order people around? Talia's leaning with her back up against the door.
Okay, leaning against the door. Yeah, Yelena takes the head seat at the table. Like in my head, this kind of looks like the shuttles from the Enterprise. It's just sort of one room with a table in it.
Mm-hmm.
And without even thinking about it, Yelena just walks to the head of the table and sits in the big chair. And does the fingers across the belly thing.
Has to scrape the chair across the side to actually put it at the head of the table.
Cole, what's your body language?
Engineer, people are being evacuated. There's been a lot of chaos with the worms attacking and then the worms disappearing. This crazy doctor person has been trying to shove everybody into their ship. You'd almost think he was kidnapping them, but on the other hand, there are people getting sick and stuff. So
I mean, considering people have been kidnapped historically, at least I know where they are this time. Having Raven taking more engineers under her wing has been almost a weird load off of shoulders.
Yep.
mhm.
It's not the everybody looking at me trying to figure out, oh, what's to do, what do we do, what do we do? It's kind of the first time that there hasn't been a specific direction, and that's not really like engineering for survival, at least in the present moment. Although at the same time, I recognize that's like, okay, wherever we end up, it's going to be me kind of directing, at least under Talia. Talia's kind of saying, hey, this is the vision. Get us there. So for me, it's more what resources do I know of in the system is kind of where my head is.
Okay.
And the only one that really lands is Paxton. Or at least we never actually named that planet. And I'd rather not call it Paxton, so I'm probably just going to call it the Green One.
Works. All right, so Talia is going to look is leaning up against the door, looks expectantly at Elena because she knows he's gonna be a problem, and she's gonna have to deal with it. She's gonna have to handle him, so she's gonna wait until he starts things off.
And I know he's going to be the first one to talk in this room.
Eventually, he absolutely, once he realizes his power play isn't working. So yeah, he puts his hands behind his head and looks, completely ignores Cole. Because Talia is the one that's fronting over by the door, right? Looks at her and says, you know that none of this is what we wanted.
Maybe doesn't seem like wants play much of a part right now.
I would agree with that. We're just trying to survive.
Coming here and ordering us to deliver a bride to you is
It's a rich definition of survival.
what he said.
It wasn't even really a bride. We were looking for just a citizen. They would have had full benefits just like anybody else. They still would.
But you got more for more what you bargained for, and it seems like you might be at least looking at all of them.
All of them.
I don't know what's going on here. Is the moon hatching? Is it just being eaten up by these worm things? Is it people getting sicker, particularly over the last couple of weeks? I think, I know we've been doing mining here. I think we need to consider abandoning Ramshackle.
What's left of it?
But we're not allowed to go back until we've reached our quota. We're not even close.
Who is in charge? That'd be enforcing a quota.
And he names a major mining company with offices in the terminus.
So we come up with a different way to do it. I mean, the greenhouse here is essentially destroyed. We would have trouble surviving
Wrong
here.
button.
We would have trouble surviving here for the next little while. So at least coming over to Paxton and regrouping seems like a big idea. And if you still want to meet the quota, we can work on ways for how to do that from Paxton. Or we can just renege on our contract and evacuate the whole place.
Have you seen Paxton? I presume the answer is no.
Of
But
course not. You don't
No,
let
we
us
haven't
come
heard
over for tourism.
stories.
he pulls out his equivalent of a phone, like a tablet, and you see him hit the photos button, like and these little 3D images pop up out of his tablet, and he just holds the tablet out like and just kind of flick it like a for all the world like a grandparent going through the pictures of their grandkids, right? It's mansion after mansion after mansion. It's grand public structures. It's all done in faux white marble. It's seamless. It's like the entire city, small city, has been cast out of one piece of steel or whatever material
3D
you want.
printed.
It's been plonked on this planet, and there's enough room for hundreds and hundreds of people to live in the absolute lap of luxury. But it's all overgrown and rotten except for about half a dozen houses. Not rotten, overgrown. The native population is kind of kudzuing its way in.
And your point is?
They were supposed to send 50 families. They sent 3. They told us we couldn't
Okay.
come home until you fulfilled all the quotas, but the quotas are more than the moon weighs.
Did you consider talking to, anybody else about the issues you're running into?
One of the very first things I did was start to contact the head offices of the company. And for my troubles, they fried our radio. And remember, we decided in the pregame we don't have faster than light verbal communication. So they waited years to get the message, and in response, they sent a message back which fried their radio.
Your issue is they fried your radio.
And we don't have any ships except the ones that you ruined. And no one to pilot them.
And you had a
So
moon full of engineers. And a broken
Who-
radio.
Who hate us.
Right now,
That
it sounds more
sounds
like
like
we
a
hate
you
the
problem.
company whom you currently are employed under.
think of it this way. It's a mutual survival thing. You get over your pride. We get over our disgust. We make, we can even divide and conquer, make sort of a thing, because we can help dig out the jungle. We can help put in crops. We can help do these things, which we need to do anyway, as we then either survey, either find another moon that we can mine on, because I don't think this moon is even all of the material that we want anyway. And if you said the quota is more than the entire mass. So that's a different problem anyway. Having us out here distracted with trying to survive in the presence of these worm things seems like a losing proposition. And if you've only got 3 families there, you need us anyway. We can set up some sort of a Congress thing where you guys get one set of vote, we get another set of vote, and we work together somehow. But trying to do it on your own isn't working,
You're
right?
you're not just going to kill us and take all our stuff?
Well,
What good
that
would that do?
depends. Are you going to make it hard for us to survive? In which case, yeah, we
There's
probably will.
there's more than enough for everyone.
So drop your stupid demands and graciously allow us to relocate there and assist us with resources for how we then go about surveying in order to do more mining. Because are you going to solve the mining problem? Or do you need the engineers and miners to solve the mining problem?
Gets up out of the
You
chair, moves to the right hand chair, the chair to the right hand of the head of the table, and before sitting down, gestures at the head chair for you.
And Kalia disregards that. She's still leaning up against the door. Is that an agreement? Yes.
Yes.
So we have the Nomad and the Favor here take us to Paxton. I think there's another shuttle bay here. We can put your shuttle in to get over there.
That would be convenient. It was the only functioning ship we had.
But
So
still
what
useful
was
for
the purpose
surveys.
of yeah, what was the purpose of coming here with all the pomp and demanding your bride to be presented to you? I mean, what was all that about?
There's a handful of us and dozens of you. You could have taken over the ship in a heartbeat. Could have taken over Paxton at any time.
And
We,
you're the best Paxton has to offer?
we are all that Paxton has to offer. If you rescue my people and take us back to Paxton, we will show you how the city works. We will give you access. And then, when the company comes asking why we haven't made quota, what is it they say? We'll burn that bridge when we get to it.
Hmm.
And
Sounds like they already burned your bridge.
he starts taking off his robes of office, just hanging them on the back of a chair.
I'm not sure Captain Scooter wants you littering up his wardrobe. Okay, fine. So let's ask the Nomad. So we have the Nomad and the Nomad's shuttle, the prawn, and we've got your shuttle, which can be fixed. We may need to load up some more resources and stuff. We may have to do a couple of runs from Paxton back here in order to salvage stuff. But on the other hand, Captain Isaac is perfectly good at that. That's kind of what the Nomad does.
Admittedly, not all of our engineers were here by choice. Some were stranded, so not all are going to want to stick around.
To be honest, there's not a lot of other places to go. I don't know
Depends.
how you
Wherever the
stuffed.
favor's going, there's only 4 of them. They may want to add a few engineers. They may wish to recruit from our people. So, do we ask the captains? I gathered that this is as close to a plan that we're in agreement. We're going to ask the captains to ferry us over.
I think you're the only way for us to survive. And I hope
Back at you. We need each other. Be gracious about it if you don't want to be lynched. Because if we don't need you, if the more helpful you are, the more we think we need you, the better off you are. And there's kind of speculation and gears whirring in Talia's head as she's realizing she has a stronger hand than she thought she had.
At the same, you do also know more of at least what was there. But your information would be helpful should you choose to provide it. But if you don't, we have other ways of gathering intelligence about what is on land and underneath.
I will gladly show you what our city can do. It just needs cleaning up first. It's really quite spectacular. But
All right.
I think you can knock on the door now and tell them we have a deal.
Bang, bang, bang. Suppose I ought to move off of the door when somebody starts to open
You
it.
hardly have time because Bill's been waiting outside like this. And you bang, 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 and the door opens, and you almost fall out.
Yeah. Yeah. Can we would like to speak with Captain Scooter, please?
Yes, as soon as he's finished fixing the ship, I would feel so much better with a couple hundred meters of air under us. But 3 breathing bodies. That's better than I thought. Cool. You guys are coming out now.
Either that or you can send Scooter in.
Where are we going?
Well, we would like to request that Captain Scooter ferry us and the Yelena's shuttle to Paxton.
Which seems like a good place to cut that scene and go over to patient Scooter. While all of that is going on, what have you been doing since you got back to the ship? The engineers are going to put the thing in the spot, right? So
Excuse me. Scooter's kind of the mind to be just kind of checking on the ship itself, making sure everybody's settled. Making sure that they're, he leads the engineers to where the emergency bridge is. So, because it's,
yep.
I still don't think we've gotten that door unlocked. I think the only entrance is through the tubes.
Yep.
I like that being a
Oh,
running
did you
joke.
want that fixed? Okay, I'll
If you got time, Birdie.
I can do it.
And yeah, I think he's just kind of like making the rounds of the ship a little bit.
Yep.
Figuring out how it's, he's making himself acquainted with what is now his ship.
Yeah. He's trying to become a captain. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Act all captainly.
Walks past the med bay area where that's just finished up, and the engineers are dusting it, and Henrietta's dancing a little jig and then goes scuttling off, and Vertan is going, no, back, that's mine, stop that.
You get him, Henrietta.
I can just see Henrietta and Verta fighting over some piece of wire or something.
Vertan moves something and Henrietta moves it
Moves
back.
it back, yeah.
He turns around. It's like, God.
It is wire. It's mine. Anyway, so
And you get the little spider legs, coming up, it's like,
little angry robot. So it's about 1,000 degrees in here right now, so I'm gonna finish this off. Scooter, you sit down in your chair. Yep. You look like you need to say something.
Are we gonna have the meeting among the four of us, or is that gonna be the focal point of the start of next time?
I don't have
With
the
only
brain power to
15
do it
minutes
right
left,
now.
yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
So what I would like to do though is a major moment, and this actually is one of the things. It's the is in fact a does it take decisive action? Either way, I would like to finish with the actual Scooter. You sit in the chair, and the engineers finish their job, and the control panel lights up. Boop, 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 boop. Makes a Nokia cell phone sound because just because. And everything lights up. The piece works. You see the diagnostics run. Everything's ready to go.
First thing he does that is he takes the tags off, the captain's tags.
Yep.
And the way I see the captain's chair is it's kind of like, the Star Trek chair, but there's like a control panel that kind of swings out to the side.
Yep.
And what he does is there's a little antenna on that control panel, and he wraps the tags around that little antenna. And he's like, "All right, Captain, let's see what we can do with this thing." And actually, no, it's like, "All right, Captain, let's see what exactly it was we hit caused all this mess." And that's what he wants to do. Is he's gonna, now that that computer works,
Yes.
is he's looking at the drift points,
Yes.
and he wants to, I think, scan the one that was our entrance. So
So explore a waypoint.
I
You divert
think
from
so.
an expedition to examine a notable look. No, not really. That's a notable location.
Well, I mean, a potentially hazardous drift exit is a pretty
Actually, it's
notable location.
undertake an expedition because when you're trailblazing a route, so when
Hmm.
you're trying to, I think, fire up the ship for the first time,
Okay.
maybe. No, that doesn't make any sense either. Does it have to be a roll? No, it doesn't. That's what we talked about earlier. Narratively speaking, take us into space under our own power for the first time.
Yeah. So if we're going to end off with the Fortune's favor taken off into space for the first time under her own power since this whole he hits the intercom. "This is your captain speaking. My name's Calvin Scooter Hobbs, for those of you that don't know. And I'm not sure where this ship is going to be going in a couple hours. We're taking off for the first time. I believe we're heading back to Paxton. I want you all to know that I appreciate the work you've done to make this girl flyable again. And this is a special ship. She's not like most vessels I've been in. She's not like any vessel I've been in. And I gotta say, you folks, we owe you something. We're gonna get you home, and we're gonna make it right. We owe you, and we're gonna make good on that." Then the starts to take off, and Scooter was kind of saying that in a little bit to kind of like drown out the sounds of his knees knocking as this thing takes off for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks at those tags and he's like, "I made a mistake, Cap. And I'm going to make it up to you. I'm going to make it up to this ship. First, let's find out what caused it in the first place."
That sounds like the start of an iron vow right there.
Pretty much is his vow.
Yep. Well, in that case, definitely take a step toward it. But so with that, yeah, and in the background, you as we left off, you hear Dr. Bill mutter to himself, "You go, Captain Scooter, you go." And we lift off into the darkness, and that's where we will drop the official uh,
Curtain.
blanket thing curtain. There it is on the evening's events, except for the yes the our milestones and that sort of thing. So the end of session. This is where we go to start with our vows. If you move forward towards any of your vows tonight, give yourself a click. I took one
Definitely did that.
for forgiving myself from the making sure that I didn't lose anybody on this trip. I gave one for Bill for that, but that's for your vows. So check those, any that apply. And then I go to your legacies, and same thing. Did you move any closer on your quests? Yeah, I think I did. Give myself one there, which is a full box. Yay! I get 2 points finally. Bonds, no, not for me, and discoveries, no. So yeah, I got 2 points to spend before next week. Next time we play.
Raven was almost never in scene into
Yeah.
the session.
Yeah.
So
You were still
Raven's made zero progress.
yeah, you were still very much in the story, but not in the scenes.
Which that's I mean, it was what, a half-hour session, so
Yeah, more or less.
Pretty much.
All right. So,
At the same time, on my end, just to kind of go over what happened with James
Yes.
this session somehow, is I went +1 for discoveries with the okay. It was a communication.
Yep.
Which also put +1 to his quest.
Yep.
And then fixing the med bay went up a bit more as well.
Yep. Absolutely.
So
Makes perfect
next session,
sense.
I got to figure out how to fulfill a quest, but that's for next session.
Yeah, fulfilling the quest is you just hit the button, and what it does is instead of rolling, it still rolls a 2 10-sided die like normal, your challenge dice, but instead of rolling a die for you, it uses the number of filled boxes you've got on that quest. So if you've got 7 filled boxes, you get 7 versus whatever you roll. So it is possible to fail a vow.
Mm-hmm.
In which case, I think the punishment is you have to figure out a way to take it again.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it also gets harder the next time.
Yes, yeah, it goes up a level. Yeah.
So that's why I will wait till next session to attempt to fulfill that and see how that goes.
Yeah.
Just because it's at 9 out of 10 does not mean it can't fail.
That is correct. In
That's
fact,
true.
it
If
can
it
fail.
fails, it fails
It can
bad.
fail at a 10. It can fail at 10 out of 10 technically.
you can get a failure with a match.
Yeah.
Yup.
Yeah, you could technically roll 3 10s and get a failure with a match.
The
All right.
gods say no.
So yes.
Okay,
So-
Bison, how about your end of session?
My end of session, I think I fulfilled a bit of become a captain worthy of his crew.
No question.
2
2, I would say. 1 for controlling the people on your ship and sort of taking control of the repairs, and then 1 for actually flying us out and that speech at the end.
And I think in that respect, I think that kind of helps a bit on his quest mark.
Yep.
And I want to say bonds as well.
Yep. He's got a bond with the crew, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
He's starting that captain crew relationship thing, right? That makes sense. Excellent. Okay, so we get to move on to first of all, I think we rolled way less tonight and told way more story. Got way less momentum, but stuff moved on, so we'll see. I'm sure we'll find a happy medium.
And we had a whole short scene that was just NPCs.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Which I like that because it adds life to the world around us.
Yep, absolutely. So I decided right away the only reasonable thing for the Aristo to do was cave completely. That's like he was done when they called his bluff when he landed, right? So he's been defeated since then. So with that looks like butt happy storyteller butt. What is that?
That is absolutely my friend Cole's butt.
It is. Yep. Right. Cool. Ask me ass. There we go.
Well, I mean, Cios is like dropping the bed sheet. Sounds risque, so that's my response.
Yeah, it's a very rude thing to do if you're wearing a toga. Yeah. All right. So on that happy note, let's do the thank yous. First of all, thank you to all of our players, Bison _ Stonefist, Karis, No _ Sophia, and Mudkip. I always forget the numbers at the end. LV. Thank you all for not only being in this game, but doing that group GM meeting thing at the start. It shows people that even if you aren't playing with 4 GMs, sit down and have a chat about your game on a regular basis. Things change. You can move stuff around. You can make it so that more people are having more fun more of the time, which is always the goal, right?
That's something you could be having with your group anyways.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Just
It doesn't
every
have
once
to
in a while,
be.
just have a vibe check with your table and be
Yes.
like, hey,
Where
how does everybody feel about the campaign? Is everybody having issues with something? You know, do we need to move any lines?
one of the great things a GM can do is say, where do you think we're going to your players? And just see if they're even in the same timeline, never mind on the same plot line. So yeah, it was good. It was good to do it, and we did it smoothly and efficiently, and we still got a little tiny bit of gameplay in as well. So which we did while implementing the changes that we just implemented. So we did what we said we were going to do. So it isn't don't do as I say, do as I do. It's do as we said and do as we did. So with that, I'll stop talking now pretty soon. Except for a couple things. Thank you to the 3 people here. Thank you to chat. It was a weird one to watch tonight. This game's always weird to watch, but it was really weird tonight because you got to see 4 GMs doing above table stuff as well. So thank you for that. Thank you for hanging around all night. If you watched it on YouTube, let us know what you think in the comments. Even if you just put that was weird, put it in there. Let us know. So we can move forward with that and keep everybody in the loop. If you have some ideas or some things that you think will make it better, put them in there too. In other words, talk in YouTube. The algorithm really likes it, and nobody fucking does it except for Deku. So,
And if you don't want to talk in YouTube, talk in Discord.
come in the Discord. We're there too. We are one of the nicest places on the interwebs. So come and see that I'm telling the truth. We really are. So, from our community to yours, from the heat of the summer to wherever it is that you're watching this, thank you so much. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit all the buttons, type all the things. You've got a keyboard and mouse for a reason. You might as well use it. Fill in the blanks and help our algorithm. Until next time, the important bit, though, it's much more important than typing in an algorithm, although that's a form of being nice. Until next time, if you see the opportunity, please be nice to each other. Good night.
Bye.